This is Terry Howe from the Talkback Fans Podcast, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show with the incomparable host, Greg Rempe.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate Susie or Wiener.
But listen, Libertius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And we are into the second hour. Welcome back. This is the Barbecue Central Show, where we talk about the most important barbecue and grilling items of the day.
Boing.
The show originating from
Palm City, USA, Cleveland.
Still to come on this show this evening, Susie and maybe Todd Bulloch from Hey Grill Hey.
Boing.
HeyGrillHey.com is the website if you want to do an advanced scout on them if you're not familiar. We say good evening to those of you watching this show tonight through one of our streaming platforms of video. Go to Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can watch over on YouTube, which is YouTube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We have a new YouTube poll question of the week, and it is a Would You Rather YouTube poll question of the week. We're asking everybody, including all guests, would you rather spend a year living at a nudist colony or within the Amish community? And currently 59% of you are saying you would rather live in the Amish community. Remember, not so long ago, 76% of you were saying that you would rather live in the Amish community, but as the votes continue to pour in over the 120-minute Barbecue Central show, it is clawing closer and closer back to 50-50, and we'll see how it goes with Susie and Todd Bulloch here in just a few moments. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less, we are bringing you episode 421, taking you back to February 17th of 2009. The show was a mere infant back then. I mean, technically it was 3 years old, but from a live perspective, because as I had mentioned last week, February 7th of 2008 is the first time the show launched live across the interwebs, courtesy of LA Talk Radio. And here, going back to February 17th of 2009, so the show was just a shade over a year old at that point, the live show was. And this week featuring another barbecue legend, the late, the great, the winning Robert McGee of Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton. Easily one of the most respected, one of the most winningest teams in competition history, a team that was a building block in the eventual rise in popularity of competition barbecue as a sport. Robert was originally an executive chef at the Hilton, Kansas City, becomes a successful competition cook, eventually opens a staple barbecue restaurant in Kansas City. I don't know if you've ever heard of Q39. If you've heard of it, you know the quality of barbecue that is being served out of there. Robert McGee is the guy that founded and opened Q39. He's that guy. Robert passed away in December of 2021. He did appear on the show a number of times, and in this interview, we talk about how Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton won the 2008 Team of the Year honors. Also, fun fact, Robert is one of the very few people I have actually met in person. He was in Canton, Ohio for a Sam's Club local qualifier, if you remember that thing back in the day. And I drove down to see the event. I was invited down by the event organizer at the time, and Michael McDearman was running the grilling demo before he ended up taking over for the director of the previous director, not to get too convoluted. And Robert McGee just happened to be one of the folks that was trying to qualify out of that local qualifier in Canton, Ohio. A guy from Kansas City drove all the way up to Canton, Ohio to try and qualify out of that local. So I drove down to see it, met Robert McGee. Robert McGee was the first human man or woman ever to give me sliced money muscle, and to say it was life-changing would be perhaps the understatement of 2026. I put that puck of pork in my mouth, and my head exploded. It was amazing. It was succulent. It was tasty. It was all of the adjectives that are complimentary. And Robert was a great guy, and he was happy to pour drinks, and he was happy to send me home with a, dare I say, metric fuck ton of barbecue that he did not turn in. Everything was great about Robert. Anyway, if you're not familiar with him, if you're looking for a great intro segment to Robert McGee, then be sure to catch it this coming Friday. And according to John, as I was listening to the show prior to posting, this whole show, February 17th of 2009, the whole show, which, by the way, was only an hour back then, worthy of multi-best moments show. So I don't know if he's going to be carrying that out. He does tease it a little bit in the talk out. But be prepared for multiple shows coming out of the February 17th, 2009 original show. And again, be sure to check it out this coming Friday. Robert McGee, Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the show by visiting thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. Also, don't forget, if you want to hear a guest or segment again that you feel has been lost and now the extensive archives of the show, email John, let him know what you would like to hear, or set some kind of outline or boundary that you would like him to meet, and he'll do his best to meet your expectation. John's contact info, by the way, is John, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com. That's Jon at thebbqcentralshow.com. And as I had mentioned, he will do his best to meet your expectation. All right, let's go ahead and get ready for a Susie and Todd Bulloch segment. Looking forward to that. Looking in the box, I see both of them there, unless Todd just decided to get the hell out. We'll see. Never know. Caught up with that. I knew somebody was going to mention it. Jason Pettis, 4691. The poll doesn't specify whether or not participation is required with the naked people. Yes, of course. That's why it's a question. You're going to have to be naked or you're going to have to be Amish for a year, Jason. Hey, step into the world of McAuliffe cigars, where each blend is a chapter and a grand tale of craftsmanship and passion. The portfolio, a symphony of flavors, each note carefully composed to create an unforgettable Nicaraguan smoking experience. They do have the color line, and in just a few weeks' time, I believe it is the first Tuesday in March, Amanda McAuliffe makes her triumphant return as we talk about the introduction of the McAuliffe White. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, go to McAuliffeCigars.com and use the locator to find a retailer nearest you. And McAuliffe is spelled MICALLEF, McAuliffeCigars.com. And we're back with Susie and Todd Bulloch right after this. Stick around, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we welcome you back. My first guests tonight are leading off the second hour. Creator of the Hey Grill Hey brand. Of course, we are talking about Susie. And there he is, Todd Bulloch from Hey Grill Hey. There they are. Happy to have you here. The first visit in 2026. Before we get going, gang, we have a Would You Rather YouTube poll question of the week, and we're asking everybody, including all guests. Susie, let's start with you. Would you rather spend a year living at a nudist colony or within the Amish community?
What do you think I would say?
Nudist.
Nudity, 100%, yes.
Wow. All right, Todd.
There's something so honest about it.
Yeah, all of it.
You know? Yeah.
You can bear, well, I mean, you're bearing everything, but you can hide nothing. Todd, would you rather be in a nudist colony for a year or an Amish community for a year?
What do you think I would say?
Amish, 100%.
Yes. All right. Now, Todd, since Susie's answering for you, now you answer this question. If you're picking the Amish community, why not the naked community?
Back in January of 2025, I was in the great country of China. And my friend that we were with took us to a spa. And I kind of had an inkling that this was going to happen, but we split off, girls and boys. Mm-hmm. And then I got to the spa and everybody was there. Everyone was naked.
I mean, that's a spa or a prereq, I think, isn't it?
I mean, tell me a spa in America where there's nudity, because you won't find it, I don't think.
They do
I think that's every spa. At some point,
you're
nude, right? I mean, now you might slip under a towel, but there's a lot of nude going on in the spa.
Yeah, the only people wearing a towel around were me and the other Americans.
Yeah.
The Chinese dudes were just walking around like just hands on their hips, like having conversations with me, and I don't love nudity.
It's kind of like the locker room at the YMCA at 5 a.m. It's all the 70-year-old guys that have been up for 2 hours. They don't want to read the paper at home. They want to be naked, so they go to the locker room, pull out the paper, have a cup of coffee, naked. They're not going to go work out. They're not going to chat it up with anybody else at the front desk. They just go to the locker room to be naked. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
Plenty to talk about. We'll leave the nudity talk where it was. By the way, we're at 60-40 for people that would rather be Amish than nude. And we'll see how that happens over the next 30 minutes or so. Let's talk about this ad nauseum, or until you want to stop talking about it. You guys have been very public as of late, talking about this investor, we're doing a pitch, blah, blah, blah. I find it a little shocking that you've spent all this time, all these years, all these decades, starting the Hey Grill Hey brand, converting it into, not just 2 full-time jobs, but many full-time jobs. You've built the army around you, the support, the followership. I never thought that there was going to be, it's not good or bad, but I just never thought that there would even be an interest on your end to bring in an investor. So when do you and Todd start having conversations about investors? What are the conversations that take place of what are we looking for? What do we don't want? How do we vet properly? How do we not get snapped up by somebody that's just going to whip us around or take creative control or try to schnooker us in some way? Let me know all about it, because I'm just endlessly enamored.
So we will start at the beginning, but we'll kick it off with a caveat that I'm not currently taking on an investor.
All right.
Because this process taught us so much, right?
Okay.
We learned a lot. It has been painful. So Hey Grill Hey is 10 years old. We've had the product line as kind of an additional piece of the business for those last 10 years, 2018. So
yeah, 8 years.
8 years, we kind of kicked off the product line. It was always an additional piece of income products are very expensive. A lot of other people in the product space are aware. It costs a lot to run. The margins are really small. You have to be really lean and sell a ton. And we were always okay with that because we had additional income from Hey Grill Hey, from the website and the app and the Grill Squad. And, we kind of built a business that had multiple income streams so that we could be a little bit balanced. In case one income stream ever decided to fall off a cliff, we could turn the knob on another one and kind of pivot and keep ourselves as a company afloat. That happened in the last year. AI has changed everything in the content business, in the digital media business. So the ads on our website really helped support the company as a whole and was a huge piece of revenue for us. But people are really happy to just ask Google and take the AI search result for anything. And Google has come out and openly said that their goal is a zero-click platform. They no longer want to be an interface for people to find the independent internet. They want to own end-to-end our entire attention spans.
Yeah.
Every other platform has said the same thing also, right? Everybody wants to be your all-in-one. Instagram does not want you to leave Instagram. Facebook does not want you to leave Facebook. You get punished for posting a link anywhere. So the ability to actually drive people to the independent internet now is shrinking exponentially. So our traffic is down 40% year over year. Other food bloggers that I know are seeing 90% drops because I will say food bloggers shot themselves in the foot a little bit because you see I don't want to scroll a mile to get to the recipe. Just give me the recipe. I don't care if your grandma milked a boat or milked a goat and got the milk and that's how you got, I don't care. Just give me the recipe. And so humans want a quick, immediate answer. They don't really care if AI generates it and if it's wrong because it might be close enough. Even though AI will just give you an amalgamation of the top 100 recipes, it's never a recipe that's been tested before. It literally just made it up. It doesn't exist. Or they will copy directly from my website and just put a link at the bottom, which there are current copyright disputes and lawsuits being filed against all of the AI platforms for that type of intellectual property theft, which is what it actually is. Anyway, so revenue from ads is down, right? So we're saying, okay, we're a business, we're fine, but if we want to continue to grow, we have to pivot. So we think products is kind of the way to go. Todd and I went to the specialty food show, and we think there's a lot of opportunity in the product space, but that means expanding our distribution. So instead of just being online or on Amazon or in some of our select hardware and specialty retailers whom we love, there's only so many hardware stores, right? There's only so many sporting goods stores that have kind of that grilling section. There's lots and lots and lots of grocery stores. And add to that not all of the brands that are on store shelves have a social following and a community and a brand behind it. I think we have some potential to really scale this thing. So that was 6 months ago. We decided, okay, we need to pivot because we need to do something to keep our business afloat. Not a lot of businesses can sustain a 40% revenue loss.
Agreed.
Over the course of a year.
Not keep the business afloat. Keep the business afloat as is without having to cut it down.
Yeah. So we didn't fire anybody last year and we kept our business the same size and we expanded into new revenue streams, which is really exciting for us. The gloves were huge for us last year, and we released some products that I think helped the community and help keep the business afloat, which is amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, we're focusing on expanding the products into grocery. And then Todd and I ran the numbers and we were like, oh, this is very expensive. It's just so expensive.
Is it expensive, building up to then be able to supply the stores that they take you on, or?
Yeah, it's the volume.
Yeah.
A minimum order quantities go from a couple hundred to couple thousand units to 20,000 units per SKU, which is, multiple six figures in just the cost of inventory to get your margins to a place where it makes sense to scale. So that's why we started looking at all of our options in terms of how do we scale this company. So we're looking at business loans, we're looking at lines of credit, we're looking at purchase financing, we're looking at investors. So I kind of decided if we're going to do this, if we're going to scale this brand nationally, we're going to need the support of everyone in our community online. It is incredibly competitive. I think 90% of CPG, consumer packaged goods companies, fail within the first 5 years. And we've been going for 8, so we haven't failed, but we also haven't scaled massively. There's a lot of risk. And I'm like, we need people on our side. So that's why I started posting about the process. And I decided to bring people with us on this journey to show what it looks like to build a company like this, to scale it to the size that I want to scale it to as a small family-owned brand. Like, what does this actually look like? And we got rejected at our first investor meeting, and that freaking hurt. That was like, they didn't even show up. They made the appointment and then canceled on us.
And you traveled to like New York City to get dumped on minutes before the meeting is supposed to take place. I wouldn't even know like how you even find or pitch an investor to even get a meeting. Like, how do you even do that?
There's a couple of different communities that are focused in the CPG space, and they put together an event where they brought brands in and investors in, and the investors chose brands to have meetings with, and we got chosen, so we went, and then they canceled the morning of.
And are they from New York, and it's easy for them to cancel, and you're coming from Utah, or they just are dicks, or what?
Yep. And apparently that's really common. I had no idea. I learned a lot about the investor space at that event specifically. Ugh. And even from the main stage, there was another investor that was like, nobody wants another barbecue brand. It's another barbecue sauce. Like, it's a dime a dozen, you know. So I think we're just in a category that feels oversaturated with a lot of the same thing, which is probably true. And so we really have to work, I feel like, twice as hard to stand out in a category that not a lot of investors are excited about, but that's okay. Sometimes no is a good thing.
Is the guy telling you that you're just noise at this point? Does he have expertise in the barbecue and grilling industry, or is he just the guy that walks down the grocery store aisles and goes, oh, instead of the 8 like open pit KC Masterpiece and whatever bullshit barbecue sauce there was 15 years ago, well, now there's a plethora, there's a whole aisle almost of rubs and sauces and all this other stuff that never used to be, and he just assumes it's noise without getting to know you.
Correct. Yeah, I think there are a lot of broad statements like that, especially in finance, because they're just trying to make the best decisions in a large portfolio. You know, you kind of just become a number at that point. So I think we left that saying, okay, we don't want to work with investors. We're going to figure out how to do it ourselves, and we will bootstrap this and do whatever we have to do to make this happen. So it was like a little bit of a stab in the gut. Like, we traveled all that way, but I think it will work out to be better in the end because, like you said, hey, Grill, hey, you would never even imagine that we would take on an investor. And I don't know that that was necessarily our end goal, but we were pursuing the avenue because to scale, it requires capital.
If you take how much, let's just play it out for shits and giggles here, but let's say you got an investor. So as you're going down whatever negotiating road we are going down, like how much were you and Todd willing to give up on a creative side or on a control side, or how much money did you want to take on? But, you know, if you give us this much, we'll give back this much. I mean, what were you comfortable not giving away, but negotiating out of as it related to the brand in order to get the money to scale?
Do you want to answer that one?
I think that's got to be the toughest thing, right? I mean, you've worked 10 years, 12 years, and it's all you, and it's all your money, and you've built all this allegiance, and now somebody's going, okay, well, I'm going to infuse you with this cash that they probably don't even have of their own, somebody else's, and they want this return, and we have this idea that we think would work better than whatever you're doing. Where do you decide to give and take on that? Like, to me, that would be just absolutely mind brutality.
Yeah, I don't think we were going in with a target in mind. It was more because we were very aware of Shark Tank and those types of meetings, but it was more, I don't know. I looked at that trip as hopefully educational. I didn't think by any means we'd leave with, you know, losing some of our equity to get a few $100,000 or something like that. Because I wasn't interested in that, because I can go I can find someone to loan me a few $100,000 to cover a PO. Like, there's no need to lose equity because of that. So it was more like seeing if there was a strategic partner available, that had the know-how and the connections to make that happen. But literally that was December, and we went to the Fancy Food Show in San Diego in the 1st of January and immediately made every dream connection we could have made. So it's like, you don't need those people to make those connections. It was like, you can bootstrap it and figure it out on your own. And so at this point, if we ever take on an investor, it's because we need a lot of money for like a Super Bowl commercial type advertising campaign. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the future investment is, to scale to like unimaginable numbers, really.
Like, what's the goal in 5 years? Where do you hope the brand is? Even just like from a visibility, I'm not talking about money. Yeah, I was asking about money specifically.
No, I'll
the last
talk about
time,
visibility specifically.
Yeah.
So there are about 55,000 grocery stores in the United States. My goal is about 60% market saturation, and I'm not talking about 100% shelf. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way for me as an independent, higher cost brand with the clean ingredients, the gluten-free certifications, like all the stuff that we're doing with our products. There's no way for me to compete with Sweet Baby Ray's. They have 100% market saturation. I want 65%. I'd love to be in like 25,000 of those stores and sitting happily on kind of that top shelf area of the barbecue store, the barbecue sauce section. So that's what we're going for. 25,000 doors would be like all of the Costco's, all of the Walmarts,
Kroger,
all of the Krogers, Albertson, Safeway, Publix, and then a whole healthy handful of independent and smaller chains like Sprouts and Whole Foods.
Do you reach out to Emily Detweiler? See if she can get you into the, I forget the name of the brand, like independent store brand or whatever the hell she works at. Are you familiar with her? So that's maybe a contact I gotta.
Yeah, send me an email.
Put in front of you there, make a mutual.
But really, it was when we were thinking about bringing on an investor, it was more than the money. It was who knows what we don't know. Mm-hmm. And there's so much in this space. There's still a very like old school business dude, shake of the hand relationship model with distributors and brokers and sales reps. And, it's a very relationship based business. And it's not so much what you know as it is who you know. And that's what we've learned really quickly in the last 6 months is, and I think we knew this from the barbecue world because we've spent the last 10 years in the barbecue space. Like, these are our family. This is our community. These are our people. And entering an entirely new industry felt really overwhelming. So having an investor partner on your side that already knew everybody seemed like it could be like almost a shortcut to really entering the space with a lot of meaning. But like Todd said, sometimes a no is a blessing in disguise. Mm-hmm. And we walked away from that even more determined to figure it out and to make it happen, even just out of spite to prove the guy from the stage wrong that said we don't need any more barbecue sauce brands. Like, I've built a lot of this business on spite when somebody said I couldn't do something or shouldn't do something or didn't belong somewhere. So that was actually really motivating for us.
And we're going into this not ignorant of the challenges and potential pitfalls. Early on, years and years ago, one of our really good friends in the industry, I won't say who it is, pulled us aside and kind of told us about their experience. They had partnered a little bit with Sweet Baby Ray himself, and he had kind of coached them getting on multiple shelves, and they ended up like, because of all this trade spend and buybacks and BOGOs and they ended up having to blow the whole thing up and just pull out of grocery completely. So we are very aware of the risk of this and the cost of this, but I see it in her every day that if we don't go for this right now, what am I going to tell myself in 10 years for not trying?
Do you reach out to like Malcolm or Pittman or Heath Riles? Like, these are three guys that I think right off the top of my head from at least a rub, and I don't know, a lot of them have sauce. Heath has sauce, maybe Malcolm has some sauce, but they seem to be doing really well in the retail space. Are you allowed to reach out to them and ask for advice, or do they gatekeep, or what?
No, I think everybody's really open, especially Heath. We've been friends with him for a really long time, but I was posting, like I said, I've been doing this a little bit more transparently, especially on LinkedIn, like the business side of it. I'm talking about it pretty openly. And I posted about last week, we went and pitched a major retailer. I flew to LA, did the pitch, fed everybody lunch, and flew home that night. And I was literally so nervous because this is like one of my dream 5-year goal retailers. And we're going to be doing a trial run with them this summer. The pitch went incredibly well, but I was so nervous. And Heath commented on my LinkedIn post and was like, "You're going to do great. Let me know if you need any help with anything." And I just asked him for a recommendation on deodorant for the stress sweats. And he, I believe, said Irish Spring.
Yeah.
So very open. We share everything. No, but really other people in this space are a huge, huge help. And even if it is slightly different categories, because we are doing the barbecue seasonings as well, but we're primarily really focusing on the sauces as kind of our main driver. They've been incredibly helpful. As you would imagine. I think the barbecue community is so willing to step up and help with stuff like that.
We get in rooms with Meat Mitch and Heath and Jess Pryles, Cosmo, and the conversations that go on are like, it's very like helpful. It's very like, how can we help, or what do you like? Is there pointers you need here? Hey, this happened to me. Watch out for this. It never feels like a competition. I haven't spent a lot of time with Matt Pittman, but I'm sure he'd be the same. But it's just a very helpful, open relationship in that level of sales, I guess. Yeah. It's awesome.
So great pitch and a test run with a no names, please retailer at this point. We're not.
I mean, you'll know. I'll be posting about it freaking everywhere, nonstop.
Yeah, good.
As soon as I can.
No, we're not taking on an investor at the moment. We're not opposed to it, but we're not taking one on.
Nope.
If you're a well ethical human with a large amount of cash, maybe there can be an introduction made, or at least a conversation had. And what about other products or new things here in Q1 that we can be expecting from a Hey Grill Hey?
Ooh,
I'm gonna do this real quick.
Okay.
So one thing we changed.
First.
So one thing you have to change. So this is like a little bit new. We had it redesigned. So that's one thing you'll see is our labels are going to change. We wanted to make them more grocery store friendly.
Yeah. Like the color scheme on that.
A little more fun.
Yeah, I mean, we already pulled the Hey Grill Hey yellow.
Yeah.
But having that be a primary color is going to be really fun for us. So, new labels coming. It's very close to Q1.
He knows what this is.
You know what this is, Greg Grumpy.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, Hey Grill Hey, small cutting board. It had a cutting board look to it. Wow. Look at that.
It's time to become there's
Grill
stickers.
Squad. Wow, Barbecue Hero. It's the book.
Whoa,
look out.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, no, I can't hear you. Just kidding.
Remember how you were going to make me publish my book, Greg?
Look at you. You've done it. You've crossed the goal line, and it's right in your hands.
Yeah, so we're going to be launching to our email and text list first on April 1st for these exclusive boxed copies.
Wow.
We have 7,500 of the boxed copies, and then once they're gone, they're gone. So we're opening those up for signed copies on April 1st.
Nice. And not an April Fool's joke, by the way, for real.
Well, it is for real, but our marketing campaign is going to be a little bit April Fool's-y.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I can't reveal too much.
Never. Not on this show. We keep it close to the vest. Well, congratulations on that. I mean, I know when we had talked about it at the ThermoWorks poolside at the mansion that we were trying to figure out how we were going to get you across the goal line, and you said, you know what, now I'm going to do it. And
yeah, and we did it.
Sure as hell you did. So congratulations.
It's a real book.
Yeah.
They're done.
Was it self-published?
Yeah, we're self-publishing.
Wow. Trying to break the mold here.
Yeah.
Great.
In cool custom boxes and everything that we designed. There's no cookbook like this. I'm so
Is that going to be
excited.
on the Amazons and stuff like that, or only on your website?
Signed copies will only be on my website.
Yeah.
But we will have just like regular copies of just the book on Amazon.
All right. Last question before I let you go. I don't know if you're following it or not. And I want separate takes. So, Susie, we'll start with you. Any take on Barbecue World Cup?
I am so excited about it.
Are you scared about it?
No.
Right. Todd?
Are you scared about it?
Todd, I think you know me well enough by now. I question everything. You got a bunch of people who have no ties to the barbecue community that are running this thing. They're from pro sports. Maybe they have access to money, but maybe they don't. They have talk of $1 million prize and then $1 million prize purse, but maybe it's $1 million prize, but maybe it's $1 million prize purse. But then today there's a lot of videos being launched saying it's $1 million prize. Where's the money coming from? I've been around this game a long time. I've seen a lot of events come, seen a lot of events go, and there's nobody that's ever talked about $1 million. I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but $1 million is a lot of money. So I am very cautious. I'm the watchdog of the competition barbecue community, and I'm going to have Scott Erdman on in next week, and I'm going to bust him down for the better part of an hour. I don't care what you did. I want to know, for the protection of the barbecue people, is this legitimate? What's your backing? Where's this money coming from? Great, you want to make everybody a star, but I've heard it all before. But legitimately, how are we doing it? How are we getting to what you say you're going to be doing? And they've already had, a lot of big name people show up and talk about it and promote it. And I just want to make sure, somebody said the saying last week during the show, we're flying this plane as we're building it. Like, if that came out of Barbecue World Cup, yeah, I'm going to be a little cautious about how much I want to jump in here.
Internally at Hey Grill Hey so many times over the years.
Yes. Well,
I am cautiously optimistic as well.
Yes.
I haven't spent enough. I trust Christy Vanover with my life. So if she's all in, I'm all in.
She's very short. So, I mean, how much can you trust her?
Listen.
No offense, Christy.
No, I think something like this is so necessary and so needed for the sport right now.
Yeah.
I'm happy it's happening. I'm hopeful that they can pull through and make it happen. I'm sure they wouldn't. I'm sure that's the first thing they secured was the money, but
I'm sure.
Listen.
Yes.
Worst case scenario, right?
All right.
A bunch of people, extra people, show up and compete this year. We get a ton more attendance at KCBS events. We get a ton more exposure to the barbecue community because people are posting about it. They're hyped about it. It turns into Firefest, and we get our own Netflix documentary. If it doesn't work out.
Double worst case scenario.
The whole thing.
Everybody shows up for the final event in Vegas, and it doesn't happen, but now you got 500 barbecue people in Las Vegas. Oh, my God.
Worst case scenario.
City could burn down on that weekend.
Out for a weekend.
Yeah, right.
And cook food in a parking. Yeah. Worst case scenario.
Worst case, yeah. That might actually be the best case scenario. Now I'm thinking about it.
I don't know. I'm just not even cautiously optimistic.
You're in.
I'm all in.
You're in.
Let's go Barbecue World Cup. Let's go $1 million.
Yes.
Let's go Netflix documentary.
We're pushing it all to the center of the table. We're all in.
Yes. It's Vegas. We all know that competition. Oh, I made balloons.
Wow, look at you. Hey, Grill Hey, branded
balloons. We all know
balloons.
Competition barbecue is gambling anyway.
Yes, that's right.
Right? It's all about what table you end up on. Everybody likes to play the game. This is just on a slightly bigger scale, but it's just getting you out there to do something you want to do anyway. Maybe you're just extra motivated now because there's a bigger prize cap on the table.
Susie and Todd Bulloch are the greatest. You can find them over at heygrillhey.com or socially, of course. Susie and Todd, thank you for the time this evening and the patience as I worked through the cat obliterated sound card, which was able to fix, thank goodness. But always appreciate the time, and we'll see you in a couple months.
Bye,
Thanks, Greg.
You got it? Susie and Todd Bulloch right there. All right, so I don't know even where I am at this point. The chat dumped off, so no idea where the feedback is on that. But like I said, as soon as I stop the show, it gets split into 2 shows on the video side. So anxious to hear what Susie and Todd were talking about as I left them to host the show unannounced, hoping that sound made it through. And then I'll go in and edit out the stuff for the audio podcast, so you would hardly ever know. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this show up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
Hey, we thank Susie and Todd Bulloch for joining me last segment. HeyGrillHey.com is the website. You're not familiar with them. Again, not seeking investors. I mean, not like opposed, but we got to meet standards here, folks. I'm speaking for them. I'm now their agent, if they didn't know it. If you have bags and bags of cash and you're not looking to dictate, we might. All right, easy. Stop this. Yeah. So again, HeyGrillHey.com. Be on the lookout for the new cookbook that's coming out. I remember as we were being regaled with the unveiling of the ThermoWorks RFX wireless thermometer. Is that getting on a couple years ago now? Roger Owen, the owner of ThermoWorks, lives in like one of the biggest properties in American Fork. Is that the name of the city that we were at? In the Salt Lake area, let's say it like that. He's got one of the biggest properties out there. I mean, it was absolutely breathtaking. And we were all outside. There was this great dinner that they had us out for. I was honored to be there. I mean, nobody invites me to anything. I mean, of course nobody invites me to anything. I mean, have you listened to me tonight? Nobody's inviting me anywhere. By the way, not to diverge off of the point I was trying to make, Susie mentioned that their traffic is down 40%. I'm wondering, and I wanted to ask her about this or get her opinion on it, but I didn't want her to break thought and information because it's not always about me, but it's always about me. My downloads, audio downloads, down significantly. Are people now not being directed to me when they search something about a barbecue, this or that? Google is just giving them an answer and not saying, oh, well, you should definitely go listen to the Barbecue Central show for all of your barbecue and grilling information. I've noticed that for as much as she's down in overall traffic, I'm down in overall download. The show is not worse than ever. The show is better than ever. Trust me. Ask me all about it. I'll tell you, it's better than ever. Maybe that's it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here all the way. Oh, for crying out loud. All the way back in the first. Okay. Gotta reload it all the way back in the first hour. Who? Steven Reichlin was here. Yes, of course. Steven competed in a cooking contest. Honest to God, I'm shocked. I thought he was way past that. He had done it before a long time ago, but had been quite some time before he stepped in the competition arena, if you will. But said he liked it. Said he's not against it. Would have to be the right situation, but not against it. Wes Wright showed up again. Missed him last month, but back and better than ever. And closing out the second hour with Susie and Todd Bulloch from Hey Grill Hey after a Maine Coon-induced audio drop on my end, and it's never me. It was me this time. I know I always say, it's never me when something like this happens. This was me. Undoubtedly me. I fixed it. We got on with it. Audio podcast listeners will be like, oh, I never hear the good stuff when it goes bad, because I care. I'm going to edit all that out, so you're hearing me now talking about it. Just trust me, you didn't want to live through this. Because I'm racing around trying to figure out what came undone. Unnerving. I hate cats. A big show planned for you next week. Co-founder of Barbecue World Cup, Scott Erdman, will join us, and I will take him to task. Also, it is the fourth Tuesday of a month, so the embedded correspondents will be in. We might be missing a Doug Scheiding, but we might not, but we might. So stay tuned for that. And there might be a surprise as well, and that's all I'm saying about that. So, how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe saying, Shabbat! Shabbat!
This is Chris Payne from Euclid, Ohio, and you are listening to Barbecue Central.